for the last section. So let me share the screen, but this is linked in your slide deck on slide 34. But it is the co-created school calendar. So I just wanted to have you think about, some of you have quite a few years of experience under your belt, and we constantly, as with every other position in school districts nowadays, are experiencing turnover in the school counseling roles. And so if you're brand new to school counseling, it can be really daunting, as I know you understand, to figure out, what exactly should I do when does this email need to go out? When do I need to make sure that this is on my radar? So I'd love to put together a monthly school calendar so that we can share this each year with new school counselors coming in, just to give them an idea of what to keep on their radar when. So as I said, the Coleman counselor sent me like a beautiful document with all kinds of stuff, but I want to give you guys a chance to populate it first. And actually, I'll open it up so that if you want to type directly in it, you can, but if you just want to talk, let's see, and I can capture your discussion, but I will change it so that anybody with the link can be an editor. So you should be able to go into it and actually edit it if you refresh. So starting in August, what are some things? That's usually when you guys are back in the office. So what are some things that we need to have new school counselors keep in mind for August?
That there may be a rush of people changing their schedules. That's how I feel.
Schedule changes.
Is that really a might, Bev, or there absolutely will?
I always say no, but they do. Something happens, they do. There's always some kids needing to change this or that around. Mm-hmm. And some have really good reasons and some don't have very good reasons. So.
I do a lot for Lena. I do a lot of my prepping for the getting ready for guest speakers and different people coming in from the colleges and whatnot in August, making my phone calls to the Sexual Assault Center and Family Violence Center to set up programming. And also the new student orientations.
Eh?
Is this just for high school or also elementary or both or all three or?
I mean, the group is K-12, so we could have elementary as well.
Absolutely.
Because like I guess September, this would be more September, but the relationship building is huge that first few months. Especially with, new kids that are coming in, but also if they're changing buildings and just letting them know, hey, you're here for anything. I'm just trying to be available. I also agree that the schedule changes are, as much as you don't want it to be there and you plan to talk to them all summer, and that's what we do. We give them summer to change their schedules. Still the first few week, everyone wants to change. That's like annoying. Anyways, annoyed by it right now. It's changing.
So some of the things that I need to remember who sent this to us.
Katrina.
Yeah, it was just coming to me. She has CTE reporting webinar. Sending 504 information to teachers.
We do our 504 meetings in September.
Okay.
You still have to send them out to teachers though. So that is, I do always put that in my calendar.
Yep.
To make sure they have it before the start of class.
Yep. Checking student transcripts to make sure, especially with seniors, I would imagine, to make sure they got the classes they need.
Yep.
Family meetings.
Requirements.
Yep. Family
big.
meetings. For those
August.
who need it. Whoops, sorry, Zach.
Just the in August, usually 3 times, well, not minimum, at least 3 times a year, I check grad requirements in
Oh,
August, in the middle of the year, and then at the end of the year, for those seniors, and then also the juniors for next year. So it's kind of like a constant check. And obviously, most of us probably do it more than 3 times, but if you're not checking them, you're gonna get burned bad,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
and that sucks.
So let me see.
Personal experience, Zach?
Well, even when it's not your fault, like, it's still your fault, right?
Yeah, right. It
You
is your
didn't,
fault.
they didn't pass the class, and so they gotta take a credit over the second semester, and you caught it so they can graduate, but it's your fault that they failed. It's like, I don't even teach the class, like, you
That's how it
know,
works.
like, we just get blamed for it.
Yep.
So definitely checking that, and I would recommend probably checking it quarterly.
Okay,
And
so then
semester.
again, November and in January and in March
Yeah,
and in May.
I mean, I would, I mean,
Mhm.
if that's too much, I don't know, Bev, if you think so, or Tori.
I check it a lot. I mean, those senior transcripts are probably quadruple.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I just, because I get nervous.
Yep.
I also make sure that we have our star set up to go. Also all of our online classes.
Oh,
Yep,
gosh.
that's what I'm seeing here. So let's see.
Yeah.
She has family meetings for those who need additional supports and an alternative education plan, award scholarships as requests come in, order books for distance learning students. What is WEN? Enter WEN courses. WEN.
No idea.
Is that the online classes like the Wisconsin e-network?
Yeah, we do that in Lena, so we kind of make sure, yeah, I would say in August, that's another thing for August.
Okay.
Yeah, we have like Edmentum, Edgenuity, and Irving.
Like FlexSketch? Is that the same kind of thing? So it's your student information system?
No.
Oh, no.
No, it's courses outside of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's courses outside of your regular courses.
Okay, set it when courses
Hey,
or,
Lynn, are we gonna be able to add things to this? Because I know that there's a lot more as we get going, that I'm sure.
yeah, I've got it shared so that you're an editor. So yep, you can absolutely go in and add.
I know for me, for October, I do the Red Ribbon Week stuff. So I start gearing up for that, and that's K-12.
Do you say
Yeah,
that?
I have homecoming too.
I don't know if we're gonna put homecoming on here. What was the first thing you said, Shelley?
Red Ribbon Week,
Red,
usually like in March, but because of COVID, we had to stop it, but March, April, well, actually, like April. Right around the prom time, we do the every 15-minute program. And we haven't done it the last couple of years just because of COVID being shut down. I know in May, we do our career unit for we have guest speakers come in for the elementary. So we gear up for that, and that's in May. December is huge for scholarships. Our local scholarship packet, like gearing up for it. And that gets handed out in January. And then you start the whole scheduling thing for the seniors or for all the students. And that usually for us is like February is scheduling. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Now, aren't you guys wishing that I would have kept my mute on?
no.
Scheduling like depends on your school, but I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing some of that now and have been for a while.
Like, you could put, for high school, you could put scholarships,
January, February,
a
March.
year, like once a month, depending on.
Right.
I just think when I'm hearing some of I think one of the things too is in August, you got to focus on what's your priorities and what's not, and that's kind of where the rubber hits the road right now in our positions, right? Like, we're pulled so many different directions. We got to focus on the most important things. And so, like Michelle, you were talking about, the AODA and the things like that. And it's like, if that's their focus, then
Right,
hit that hard. But if their focus is more scholarships, hit that hard and just keep going. And,
mhm,
so I think a new counselor's got to know what they're supposed to do from their school. Like, what is the most important thing in those months? So because there's going to be so many different things in all these months,
Mhm.
I mean, ongoing. is
may
gonna be
actually not be
yeah,
helpful.
College transcripts, that's gonna be ongoing all the time. Sending school transcripts for colleges,
Yeah, that's huge.
financial aid meetings.
In September, transcripts to schools for all the way through. I mean, well, probably not all the way through.
January is gearing up for testing.
Yeah.
That happens well, Access is December and January. ACT is March. Aspire is usually April, May. Forward is in there somewhere.
It's the same as
Elementary, I don't know, is it
Access.
whatever
No.
you guys do?
DLM.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the-
elementary's then got all their own testing things.
Yeah. MAP is usually fall, winter, spring.
I'm just curious, how many other counselors are in the classroom teaching?
That's a good question.
I mean, I have my elementary lessons. That's about it.
And how often are you in the elementary? Like every day or?
I'm there Mondays and Wednesdays. We're hoping to eventually get lessons every other week, but right now they're every week.
But not every day, every week, just Monday, Wednesday. So they just added another one for me. So next year I will be in the classrooms anywhere between 3 to 4 hours a day.
Wow, that's a
Oh,
lot.
And right now I'm in the classroom 2 to 3 hours a day. So,
and then you used to have Aaron, but now Aaron's in the classroom, correct?
no, I never had Aaron.
Oh, I thought when she came to Lena, she just went to the classroom. She was not
Yeah.
doing school counseling. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's fun.
You're K-12, right, Michelle?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I co-teach an 8th grade careers class, and that's the first semester.
Yeah.
I do guidance 5K through 8th grade, and it's once a week for each grade level. So actually twice a week for 8th grade because it's split up.
So that could be every month actually, for any, depending on grade level or
Yeah.
where you're at, it could be every month.
Every month is, so I'll see like, it'll be every week, once a week, I'll see every grade, but not the whole grade. I'll see like we split it up in half.
So how often are you in the classroom then, Zach?
So I'm in the classroom on Tuesday for 2 classes, Wednesday for 1 class, and then Friday, because I really need to not be all week, I have it from, it's like 3.5 hours in the classroom on every Friday. It's just so I can get it all in one big chunk.
Uh,
So I'm open for the rest. So, or else, there would be no one else to see kids
Mhm.
when they have problems. So,
Well, yeah, Shelley, my gosh, if you're going to be in classes like, what did you say, 4 hours?
It just depends on the day. Like right now, Monday, Wednesday, I'm in the classroom 2 hours, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm in the classroom 3 hours. And now next year it'll be pretty much anywhere from, I think, 3 to 4 hours every day.
Wow.
So, yeah.
so that's where the focus has to come in. Because if they don't, if the district wants them in the classroom,
Mhm.
there's certain things that they're going to have to know they can't do.
Right.
And
Yeah.
have a discussion early on instead of just because all the counselors in the CISA said, this is what we do, they're supposed to take all that on. It's like, no, that's a bad idea.
Mhm.
I'm going to put that at the top is prioritize school counselor time. Prioritize. There we go.
And I have another meeting at 3, just so you know. I'll have to log off in about 10 minutes,
Oh, we are all going to be done at 3.
5 minutes. Oh, okay.
Prioritize school counselor
Alright.
time for tasks depending on how much time the counselor is spending in classes. Because yeah, that's kind of a, you have to do that right off the bat. Okay, other things that, and feel free to jump around.
I don't mean to talk again, but we have to, I do all at the end of the year. So I'm not sure, I do the list of the Fs and the retention letters to all the parents of any students that have to
Oh, yeah.
get a retired or required class made up. So I would say that's like, yeah, probably June. I do that.
Yeah.
right?
When
Yeah.
grades come out.
Yeah, so that would be in June.
I don't know as a high school, but I give all the AP tests, which is in May.
AP
Okay.
tests, and I help plan graduation, honor society, and awards night. So much.
Me
fun.
too. Senior banquet and graduation.
No, I think if you're the counselor in high school, somehow you're gonna have a role in graduation. If it's not planning it, it's gonna be making sure the right kids are there. Some scholarship or announcing, like, so no matter what district, I think they're gonna have to do that.
Yeah,
They may not play a prominent role like some of us, but I'm
June is sending out all the final transcripts to all the colleges.
the final transcripts.
Come on in. It works great. Yeah, they can hear me. They said I don't sound like Mickey Mouse anymore. Yeah, no. Thanks, Jeff.
You know, there is record stuff too, like shredding appropriate records or disposal of records at the end of the year. You know,
I think in September and January also scheduling changes first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In August also, I send out a letter to all the parents, the current fifth grade, next week, sixth grade for sixth grade orientation. I do the sixth grade orientation, and then also in, what are we right now, January, then I do the freshman orientation. So that's in January.
let's see.
you know, there's going to be potential meeting, like, it's hard to know exactly when IEP meetings will be, but
Oh, yeah, that kind of is all year long.
there
Yeah.
will be times where they'll need to be part of the IEP meetings for especially seniors and juniors. You know, that's when I've been most is seniors and juniors. So I don't know where you'd put that, but
I don't either, because I feel like that's kind of ongoing. I don't know, are there certain months, Val, that IEPs more commonly are?
No, I think though, maybe you need an ongoing category. So maybe you have the months and you add an ongoing, because there's been a couple of things people have mentioned that I'm like, oh yeah, you kind of just do that all the time.
Mhm. Well, we really haven't talked about like who needs to be a part of this, so I can get rid of collaborators and just put in ongoing instead. And that is participation
Yeah.
in IEP meetings.
Lesson plans is ongoing.
Yep.
yeah.
In June, and now, yeah, in June, usually, I don't know about it, every district, but like I always have to change over all the CUME folders to the next grade, make sure they're in the right spot.
Change over, what did you say?
Change over the CUME folders,
Queue folders.
file report cards, that type of stuff. So depending on the district, right now I've been lucky enough to have a secretary that I'm able to have put on the labels on the permanent record cards and stuff like that. But in years past, I didn't have that. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I would have it, but it would just depend on the timing of everything. So, I mean, June could be changeover cume folders, labels on permanent record cards, file report cards, more of the secretarial type stuff. So that could either be June, or if it's not done, then it could be back when you're in August, depending on the time.
Does like all of the Zello stuff happen automatically, or is that something that you have to do?
Ongoing,
That's an
every
ongoing.
month, ACP.
I was thinking more specifically about like the new student, like students getting transferred from one building to the next, or, you know, the seniors sunsetting and the new fifth graders becoming sixth graders.
Well, Skyward
Oh,
takes
yeah.
care of some of that, but you do have to add new students or
Yeah.
if they don't transfer correctly or.
Okay,
That would be August. Specifically, that thing then would be August
okay.
or September. But other than that, yeah, Zello, all year for
Yeah.
the.
Did counselors have a lot to do with the data snapshot? I felt like I talked to a lot of counselors about the December data snapshot from this fall.
Maybe we're your point of contact.
I think we'd prefer not to be.
I think it depends on the district, because in some districts, that's like one of the building secretaries kind of takes care of that stuff. Sometimes it's the Carl Perkins person has a hand in that.
Well, there's just a lot of graduate outcome requirement things that come out of that data snapshot. So I'm guessing that counselors are at least contacted to make sure that the graduation rate is accurate and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
The Act 59 stuff with the career grants, those are September, I think the deadline is.
I think you're right. Yep.
And so that's just, money to pour into more college classes. So
Yep. What is that specifically called? It's the
career incentive grant, I believe.
CTE incentive.
Technical incentive grant, maybe.
Did anybody, I'm trying to read through. For Start College Now or ECCP, you have to get all that paperwork going on.
And is
sometimes a
that,
year.
is that like
I
that's?
don't know what one is. I don't know what one is. But like for the Start
October?
College Now, for kids taking college courses, you have to get all that paperwork going on and
Yeah.
making
I feel
sure.
like that's already been due. Like, was it due in January? So you would have had to collect it in December?
It's
Yeah,
almost
there's
like
like
an
an October
ongoing
and a
thing.
March deadline.
It's October. I think it's October and March.
October and March, but
March.
it's kind of like an ongoing, like you always have to look at kids that are interested in taking it and sign them
Yeah.
up and making sure. So it's not just this month and this month, but the deadline's October 1st and March 1st.
Yeah. It seems here though, it's like we got it going on all the time. So I don't know.
Right?
It's October.
It
1st.
is like, yeah. If you've been in it long enough, you know not to bother with those deadlines. Because once you pass it, you still keep going with it. Like, I just had 2 students that wanted to get in a class, and the classes for the college started Monday, and it's like, okay, well, let's do it. So
That's how it works.
And you
Yeah,
got
and
it in?
usually you get them all signed up and then they decide they want to drop it. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
yeah, it isn't. I wouldn't put early college credit though,
Oh,
It's
okay. College
because
now.
that's a different term.
That
They're
actually
different
has-
terms.
a strict deadline.
Okay.
It is Start College Now. There's like Start College Now, early college credit, and then there's another advanced standing or something. So
The transcripted.
yeah, so it's all, it could confuse the term.
Okay.
You could put dual credit. That's a better just definition.
go.
College Now would be dual credit.
There you go.
That's the state term, I think.
we've
Does
got,
anybody actually do 504s? Because I do those all year long. Scheduling meetings, meeting with
The principal
parents,
does those.
reviewing. No, that's not what this one does.
district, yep.
But testing wise, the accommodations typically, making sure there are appropriate accommodations for special ed and 504
Yeah.
for testing.
Oh, and then the ongoing thing that we actually do meet with students
Yeah.
about counseling stuff once in a while.
Yeah, at some point.
Maybe we should include that in there because that's actually part of our major.
Yeah, right.
document.
No kidding.
And it does, I don't know about, my feeling is that near the semester endings, it naturally picks up with meeting with students. So I don't know if that's the case with your guys' districts too, but it's been pretty rough this last week. But there are waves of this.
Okay.
So I think
Mhm.
understanding that there are waves of the year for students and staff, and
Mhm.
time of year, the winter years are a little bit stronger of emotional issues and academic issues and things like that. So
All right, well, we've got 2
but I
minutes.
feel like I'm not.
But you all have access to this and it's in the slide deck. So if you want to go in, I will cut and paste the things that Katrina put into her list. But yeah, please feel free to continue to go into that and add things. And we'll just keep that around for the beginning of the year next year for anybody who needs a refresher on things that need to be done. And I think.
And what a great tool to share with people that are wondering what counselors do. I mean, just look at that list right now. How many pages are we on?
Okay.
And some of those things are huge things. So just helping other people understand the value of all of the things that counselors do. And Bev, in my head, I was laughing just a little bit because I believe that coordinating chili suppers is also part of your responsibility.
It is. Coordinating chili suppers is part of my deal.
Yeah.
Also coordinate a success day and a reality
Yes.
store.
Yeah,
I really
that's
coordinate events. That's one of my largest jobs. I coordinate events.
Yeah.
My new job, event planner.
But we will jump into chapter 2 in February for our powerful partnership. So I will make sure and scan that chapter and send it out if anybody does not yet have the book. But we absolutely would love for you to leave us some feedback. We're all about continuous improvement at CISA 8, and Val and I definitely will look over any feedback we get. So if you want to click into our tiny URL, and send us some feedback, that would be awesome. That is on the last slide. Otherwise, that is it for January. So we really appreciate you guys spending time with us this afternoon, and we will be back in February with more updates and more topics. We'll put our heads together and think about what the next thing is that we need to talk about. But I thought really, really valuable information today on your crisis plans. So thanks, Val, for all that information.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate it. I know it's crazy in schools.
Yes.
See you next week. See you next month.
Yes.
Yeah. See you then.
Bye.
In person. Bye.